Okay, so I'm doing something completely new and insane today. I bought a microphone, and so hopefully it makes my voice sound really good. But I want to welcome everybody to November. I'm doing this fighting against the light of the day, so I'm probably going to just do tasting notes on these wines. I've got some notes already taken. I'm going to turn those into my wine club write-up, but I really just wanted to talk about these wines in an outdoor environment because I love this time of year, but I hate this time change. And I'm really excited about what we're doing this month because it's like not normal for us at all. But it's a really great holiday combo. It's a really cool way of looking at maybe like the future and the past of winemaking. And I love these producers. One I've loved for a long time, for at least as long as the idea of satellite's been around, for about 10 or 11 years. And then the other is a wine that's totally new to me, or winery that's totally new to me, but the wine feels super familiar and really special and something that I want to probably keep carrying and exploring and sharing with people. So with that said, I'm going to check and make sure everything is running here properly, and I'll be right back. Yeah, it's good. So this month is about idiosyncrasies, ones that we're used to, ones that are new, things that are peculiar but like work. And to be honest, this was like a very last minute decision. I'd been really struggling with what wines to choose for this club month. And, this time of year, there's a lot of great wines that are coming to market. There's a lot of great wines that are sort of like geared towards this holiday time of year. And then there's like a lot of just wines that I'm interested in carrying all year round and then get a chance to. So what we have this month is like a very rare red and white combo that aren't from the same winery. They're not from the same region. They don't have anything really to do with one another other than they're unusual in their blending, and the approach to winemaking is very classical, but they're idiosyncratic. They don't fit a particular mold, even in a very classic approach. So basically, we have an Alsatian white wine. So that's from eastern France. Alsace is this mountainous, high heat region that's very long north to south, very thin east to west, gets incredibly hot growing days in the summer, but has a very cold winter. Alsace is known for Riesling, Gewürztraminer, Muscat, Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Auxerrois, and a whole host of other grape varietals. This is from the village of Bergheim. So we're in like German France. This is an area that's like, the growing is so good there because of like, it's based in the blood of like infinite soldiers from the Celts to the Prussians to the Germans to the French, and everybody else who fought there in the World Wars. Super highly violent, contested region between Germany and France currently, and hopefully forever it'll be France now. But there's a lot of German names. There's a lot of German language. This is an Alsatian wine. Alsatian white wines tend to be either you'll get one of the single varietals that I mentioned, or you'll get something called an Edelzwicker, which is like literally means noble blend. And in this case, this is sort of an Edelzwicker in that it's a blend of a lot of notable local grape varietals, except it's not just notable grape varietals, and it's not just a blend, it's all of the grape varietals that are white that are grown in the region. It's and they're all farmed in the same vineyard, and they're all mixed plant to plant. So it's called a Complantation. So sort of a co-plantation in the same vineyard with all of the same vines. This is made by Marcel Deiss. Marcel is, he took over the winery from his dad, but I believe they're deeply generational. I'll have more information on the write-up, but super traditional winery, but also with like incredibly forward-thinking super regenerative growing practices, really healthful farm and planting methods. So the idea with a complantation is to like basically hedge your bets, but also make something that's super local tasting that really is defined by all of the different grape varietals. But because everything kind of has different weaknesses and different strengths, they kind of go together well to be farmed together. So this is Alsace Complantation. It's hard to say. It's 2022. It's a dry white wine, because it says so right on the back here with the scale. But yeah, this is a super old school, made in a new way representation of a Edelzwicker blend, or a noble blend from Alsace. And then the other wine is by a winemaker named Sono. She's Japanese. She's based in Healdsburg in Sonoma. This is a Beni-Chōji red wine, and it's made by Six Cloves Winery. So that's Sono's, or maybe it's Sono. We haven't spoken yet. She's really a new discovery for me, but her wines are really stand out for the region, and something I never expected that I would be all about. I'm really all about them. So she's properly Japanese, came to America to make wine, and Six Cloves is named for her in respect to like her sort of ancient family business, which was making first pharmaceuticals in Japan, like ancient pharmaceuticals in Japan out of herbs, and then making like soy sauce and other things. The company was called Six Cloves, and it's a part of her family history. And so she named her winery Six Cloves in deference to that. Sono is making these wines that are just sort of like so much more than the sum of the parts that go into it. And what's weird about this wine is that it's it's a North Coast wine. So I think it's in Mendocino and Sonoma County, both organically farmed vineyards, but primarily Pinot Noir with Cabernet Sauvignon blended in. Hyper weird to have that combo, in that Cabernet Sauvignon is very dominant. But in this case, it really like adds an edge, and it adds context to the Pinot Noir, and it sort of gives this like presence in the wine that makes the wine so much cooler than it would be just being like kind of your average Russian River Valley Pinot Noir. So, idiosyncrasies, wines that are unexpected, wines that are doing things that are kind of weird. I want to start with the Marcel Deiss, just because I recently popped it, tasted. I actually haven't tasted the Beni-Chōji today. I just smelled the glass and got this started. So, but to be honest, Marcel Deiss is one of my favorite Alsatian wine producers. It's carried in the Veritas portfolio. It's imported by Becky Wasserman, which is an amazing importer in California and throughout the U.S. Becky is like the woman who basically made the wines that we like, which are naturally made wines that are also properly elegant and classic in style, something accessible in the U.S. market. And she did that by working her butt off for years, moving to Burgundy and representing all these small wineries that she was friends with, sort of collected this like perfect portfolio. So I don't know if you can see it on there, but Becky Wasserman's little logo's in the top left there, and it is something to look out for. So anyways, 2022, Berghain, Alsace, Bergheim, not Berghain, that's the club. 13 grape varietals, all grown in the same vineyard together. When I first started tasting this wine, first opened it, shared it with some of the staff, it was really closed, it was really tight, it was really lean, water weight. It wasn't giving a lot on the nose, sort of like... So this is a wine that wants oxygen, and it's super stable. It's made of 13 plus grape varietals that are all native to Alsace. So you've got Riesling, you've got Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, Gewürztraminer, Muscat, Sylvaner, Pinot Auxerrois, probably some type of other Traminer, probably some multiple types of Muscats, but it's really not hyper floral. Sometimes it is, though. It like kind of has different shades that it goes through as it gets more oxidized, but really it like comes across as more like Pinot Gris when it's first opened, like very lean, very austere, very neutral, not a lot on the nose. Now it's got like Riesling characteristics, where it's like honeysuckle and lemon and this like popping, like powerful sort of like lean but crisp type of thing. And then earlier I was getting like more of an aromatic, floral type environment, like expression. That's pretty cool. But I love Edelzwickers. They're basically like, I call them mom juice because they're like mom wines, they're something that like tastes kind of sweet, but it's bone dry, and they are really stable, and they're really like traditionally made, so they're like predictably good, and they're not gonna like generally jump up and bite you. Although I did just have like a really gnarly Edelzwicker on the list from a producer that won't be named, like, but it's great. It's gonna turn bad in like 45 minutes with oxygen. This wine you can have open for days, no problem. Made to the same standards, grown arguably better than the wine that, you know, goes bad over a certain amount of time. It's just this wine has a little sulfur added. It's maybe spends a little bit more time in the cellar. But yeah, this wine has like this mineral sharpness on the nose that I really get with a lot of Rieslings. It's a little reductive, but like not in like, reduction can come across as like sulfur, so like boopy or farty. It can also come across as like matchstick. Like think about like freshly struck match. Like that's what this smells like right now. I got some on my lip. Yeah, okay, we'll taste it. Cool. Okay, so like when I first tasted this wine, it had the texture and weight of water, but it had this like kind of tension and pull in it. Right now I'm getting like a ton of salt. Really beautiful bread acidity. The palate seems to be fleshing out more, so, you know, it's not so water weight. It's like got a little bit more depth to it. A little bit more structural integrity. Like it feels like it's kind of drying my tongue out. Not that there's tannins in here per se, but like there's a little bit. There's like going to be a little bit of drying, a little bit of like so much acidity that your mouth responds to it. So much acidity that like in the context of your normal pH in your mouth, you're now gleeking and creating so much saliva that it almost feels drying to the palate. But also this just has like a lot of mineral salts in it. It's so nice. It's like right now it's showing like a lot of lemon skin, still like a lot of pear. There's this aromatic component where like you kind of get this like delicate, pretty like dried rose or this faint geranium, but like less geranium-y, definitely honeysuckle and like a ton of honey, but I get like a lot of pear. And there's like a green component. There's ginger. Yeah, totally gingery, which is great. These wines, when they're off dry, are great with Asian food. When they're dry, they're great with Asian food too. It's just the sweetness goes with spice more. So, but like this with like, I don't know, something basic like Chinese chicken salad or like just some, you know, something kind of like, ooh, I would have this with like any sort of like Chinese or Thai kind of like chicken dish, especially like a fried chicken type of vibe. Or just like anything kind of fried, because it's got a really great acidity. It tastes like holiday wine. There's like a soft creaminess, like malolactic fermentation's taken place partly. And so it's not like buttery in any way, but it's like, it's got this little kiss of creme fraiche. So yeah, I mean, this is bagel wine. This is like wine that you want to have with cream cheese. It's like a wine that you want to have with like turkey dinner. It goes super well with all of kind of like the holiday flavors. It's got this like deep holiday spice going on. But yeah, super, super dope. I'll write more about Marcel Deiss, but the Deiss family is doing some of the best farming in Alsace, some of like the most conceptual winemaking, while not forcing the wine to be any particular thing in terms of like really cornering it in terms of its like chemical structure or adding or taking anything away. It's just like they're badass old school winemakers. And I think that's pretty cool. Now we go to the other side. I'm gonna have more of this one real quick. This is good. God, bitterness too, by the way. And that really helps with the structure, pull, tension. And this wine is just, it's ripping in every direction, but like really friendly at the same time. God, that's a nice wine. I'm really proud of that wine. Okay, this is Beni-Chōji, Pinot Noir, and Cabernet Sauvignon. Think of this as like a third, even fourth wave California wine, in that it's like this, you know, it's sort of return of returns to old California winemaking, but with like the elegance and style of like new wave winemaking. While also being completely natural in approach. This wine is carried by the Floraison wine book. My friend Nadia Dmitriev and Anna Ash run that book. Nadia is the founder, Anna is the wine rep, and is also an amazing singer who's based in LA. You may know her, Anna Ash, look her up. But anyways, this is Beni-Chōji. The book that it's in, it fits into perfectly. This is their first California producer. It's their one of two of their first North American producers that they carry. Wine is totally like transparent, but like deeply, thoroughly like cherry red. Beautiful. The whole book is like made up of producers, mainly in France, that represent unbelievably thoughtful winemaking at any scale from small to very small, with like maybe a medium-sized producer that just happens to do everything just so well. It's all about farming. It's all about quality production, and they really have struggled to find anybody in California who fixed their vibe. If you've been to Satellite, you've probably had some Floraison imported wines. Unlike the Becky Wasserman logo, there's nothing on here because we don't need to put importer logos on wines that are domestic, but it is in the Floraison book, and if you see Floraison or Floraison on the back of a label, just know it's a good wine. There's like no doubt the wine will be good. Nadia's champagne collection's wild. Her Burgundy collection's fantastic. Her just wine in general, like those Southern French wines that she carries, are out of this world. Some of my favorite producers in wine in general. So anyways, this is fucking awesome. Sorry, pardon my language. So Beni-Chōji, I'm going to have to look up what Beni-Chōji actually means, but this is like a California expression that is, again, idiosyncratic, doesn't fit the mold, but like feels super familiar and feels proper. So on the nose, you get typical Pinot Noir notes, but then you get this like harder or more durable corner. I think about things in terms of like carpentry. Like it feels like it's got like a live edge on it that's like elegant and beautiful, but it's definitely something firmer, something almost like woody or green. There's no wood, and this wine's probably, I think, aged in neutral oak, but there's no new oak here. It's all about the fruit. It's all about this like deeper, more rustic vibe that the Cabernet Sauvignon's bringing, as well as like the mushroominess that Pinot Noir can bring. But yeah, big expression on the nose, bright, beautiful, clear fruit, very cherry, bitter cherry, right up to like black, and like just think about like the brightest, ripest Bing cherry you've ever like smelled. That's what it smells like. But like in a sexy wooden craft box of some kind, like a craftsman type of like handmade cigar box that's very old and just has this deeply impressive smell to it. You're gonna like this with Thanksgiving dinner. This wine's really special. It hits like every possible pleasure point for somebody who both the people who like California wines and the people who like French wines. And I'm talking about like very basic expressions of that, like Burgundy and Sonoma. Like it is right in there, and then it has the elegance of Burgundy, but then it's like, I'm a little bit sluttier, I'm a little bit rounder, I'm a little bit more bright and fruit forward. And the Cabernet Sauvignon works on the back to build structure and bring you some earthiness, bring you some sort of secondary, like woodier, earthier, vegetal, spicy tones that are like amplifying the spice and earthiness of the Pinot Noir, but with like that's paired with this structure, more tannin, more acidity, a little bit more like presence, without any like notes of like sweetness. You just get this like pure expression of fruit. And I'm losing my light here, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. And you're gonna just focus on my voice with my new silly microphone that I've got. Yeah, like this wine has like this anise to it. Like clove. It literally, I'm not just saying that because it's called Six Cloves. Like it has this like lightly present baking spice sort of quality that doesn't feel like Starbucks baking spice put on the top of your mochaccino, but like something really real ingredient type of talking high-end grocery spice shop here. Like it is neither as full mouth grippy as Cabernet Sauvignon can be. I don't think there's more than 10%, maybe 15% Cabernet Sauvignon in this wine. I don't actually have the technical information. I just asked her on Instagram for it. But I don't think it has a huge amount of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's more about amping up and tensing up the Sonoma Coast Pinot Noir that's in there. And it just gives it this presence, turns the cherries a little bit more bitter, a little bit more grippy, a little bit more tense. It gives everything spice that it already had. You get this sense of coastal fog. You get this like bark from like old redwood trees. It's like slightly resinous, but like drying and sort of nose component of resin, like smelling an elegant hardwood. Yeah, this wine's sick. Sono's doing awesome winemaking. I was impressed with every single wine that she makes, from her Chardonnay to like that's anything but a Northern California Chardonnay, and then it's like super refined and elegant without being huge and monstrous, but like it gives you all of the things that you want no matter who you are. To a Zinfandel that she makes, it's like one of the best Zinfandels I've ever had in California. It's not cheap, it's really good. I'm just impressed with this wine. It is 13.5% alcohol, I think, which 13% alcohol. And this one, we getting into higher alcohols for the holidays here? It doesn't say. How does it not say? Oh, 13.5. Sorry. Yeah, we don't get into the mid 13s all that much at Satellite, which is saying a lot because like that's not very high in the world of serious wines. But I tend to like wines that are more tense, and these wines both bring tension and elegance and minerality, earthiness, with tons of clarity of fruit, all at once. So I'm really impressed with these wines. I hope you are too. We might do more of these like wine clubs that are just like not so much about learning in the context of one another, but like maybe a broader theme where it's like, this is idiosyncratic winemaking in that like, what the hell's going on blending 13 grape varietals, not just in like after the wine's already been made, or putting grapes from different vineyards into the same bucket to ferment, but actually planting everything together and growing it all as one thing and fermenting that vineyard and giving that vineyard expression. To this, which is like not a normal blend at all. Sort of like you risk eliminating what makes Pinot Noir special and eliminating what makes Cabernet Sauvignon special, or like watering that down. Instead, it works and it just like gives context to both of them, and you taste both in them. So I just wanted to like pop off two wines that I really think are special that fit in the holiday vibe. I wish you a happy holidays. I'm going to do a lot more writing up now that the sun is down and you can't probably see me all that well anymore, although maybe you can. We'll edit it in post. But yeah, I'm just so thrilled to carry these wines that are very special. I'm thrilled that you're in our wine club. I'm thrilled that you like our team. And I'm thrilled that you are friends with us. So just a reminder for all of our wine club members, you can ship your wines for free every month, as long as you fill the rest of your shipment up to a 6-pack. We'll ship it for free. We will discount it at your wine club discount, so you can go online, mark it for pickup, and then just send us a note saying, please ship with my wine club. So say you got a wine shipment last month with your 6 bottles. Say you wanted to get another 6-pack, you can look at some wines on the website. You're like, I'm like across the country and it's like going to be, $30 to ship. If we're shipping it with your wine club, you can just put 4 more bottles in that 2-pack, make it a 6-pack or more, and we'll ship it out to you. It's a great way to be a wine club member, use your wine club discount on our website. Hell, the same thing goes for deliveries. If you want me to deliver your wines sooner than every 3 months, toss me an order for 4 bottles. We will throw it in the car. I'll have it out this afternoon. We just try and do that so that I'm not, like doing partial orders all over the place to, our many members locally every, day of the week, of the month. Try and make sure that this is like a sustainable wine club, and I'm sure glad that you're members. Some other things, we've got some epic events coming up. Please follow the Satellite Events calendar. If you go to the website, it's just under the events section on the menu. We've got a ton of portfolio tastings coming up in November and December. Really trying to build this culture of portfolio tastings. We have a lot of reps in LA that we work with once or twice a year. And I really want to encourage those people to, instead of dragging 6 bottles up the coast, just to have a few appointments cancel on them and maybe see 2 or 3 wine buyers in the Central Coast. I really want to provide a space. We provide the space free for all of our wine suppliers. We choose them based on their quality. We do a trade tasting during the day to try and get other wine buyers in Santa Barbara and the surrounding area to actually buy more diverse portfolios, bring in better wines. And then we do a open portfolio tasting for our trade buyer or for retail buyers in the evening. So that's free for wine club members. $10 for anybody else. Bring friends. We'll have popcorn this week and the next few weeks. I've done raclette cheese with my raclette cheese machine. It's all included. We put little pour stoppers, pour restrictors on the wine, so you walk around and you pour for yourself. Got a little order sheet. Get up to 35% off on 12 bottles or more, but everything is automatically 15% off on bottle 1 for what our normal retail price would be. And then what we do is we put a big pre-sale order together, as well as some more wines for the shop, and we send everything to the shop for pickup by at least the next Friday. So usually they're Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Got some exciting ones this month. T. Edwards, One on the Hill, and Ariat wines. We've got La Grenouille. We have Great Blue Sea wines, totally unique French importer that's actually run by some pilots for Air France. They're moon landing as wine importers, and I think it's pretty cool. So beyond that, we have one more really special thing, which is a dinner with Envive wines and Will Moon. Will Moon is a insanely great chef who's a young kid who worked at Revolver Pizza initially out of college. And then he went on to decide not to go to law school and pursue food, and ended up now, after a year and a bit, working at Momofuku's Major Domo in LA. He's now the sous chef there. Kind of runs the service team, or the cook team when in service on the nights he's there. And it's just he's gearing up to be a incredibly important chef in California. So, super proud to have this 5-course plus wine paired dinner with Envive wines. We'll be releasing Alice's whole autumn selection of wines, and I'm just thrilled to be able to put that on here at the factory. And then we've got lots of new things at the restaurant all the time too. So full slate of happy hours and events and by the glass specials and spritz Sundays and things. So. Or you can just come out for Fridays for Gene and watch some magic. Anyways, I'm going to let everybody go now because this is a long talk, and I sure appreciate you being members, and we love you. So thank you. Appreciate it.